Ooh, that camera's not super great. Your life.
Hola, amigos.
Minutes here. That camera's nighttime is bad. My phone probably is better.
That's all right. Alice, how are you? Blanco, Mr. Blanco. There's 7 of you waiting already. Right on. 7,000 of you waiting already. I mean, epic family road trip is on.
Awesome.
Dude, here we go. Now we're rolling. Sweet.
Now we're rolling. Is that better?
Mm.
Worse? No? Yes? No?
I don't know. I think everyone can.
Okay, bear with us.
Everyone
Sorry about the
can deal.
lighting.
It's dark here in Mexico.
It is. We ran away from the snow to find some warmth.
Brad Browning says, "Adopt me."
What skills do you have, Brad?
You can only be adopted if you have skills.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks everybody for being here. I don't even know where to start because it's been a ride as usual.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Hey, Garrett. Hey, Ryan Hall. Oh, it's fun to see everybody. Thank you so much.
So, you might be wondering where we are, and we are not in Bozeman. This is not our backyard. No. I wish it was, but we are somewhere in Mexico at a little teeny dive resort for spring break. So we're having a great time, but it just so happened to land at the same time we're launching the biggest series we have ever put out on YouTube. So if you've been part of the Overlander Network, you've probably caught up to episode 4. Episode 5 goes out tonight as well. So if you want, after tonight, you want to binge more, you can go to the network and there's 4 more waiting for you there. For all those folks that have watched us there, thank you so much. That's building the next phase of the big dream. So appreciate that very much. But yeah, tonight though is YouTube night, which is our biggest night of the year when we launch a premiere episode of a brand new series. This season, well, this is a season, not just a series.
Yeah.
So as you guys will see a little bit throughout the show here, that we've been recovering just like everyone else to get out from under COVID and get going in the world again. So now this year was the first opportunity to get out and shoot something after COVID, and that took a lot to get done, but we're very excited about where we went. So obviously you can see that this series is the Nordic Series, and that we traveled Belgium, Denmark, ripped through Germany real quick, Netherlands, Sweden, Finland, Faroe Islands, and Iceland. It was a big trip. We were gone for a total of 60 days, you and I. Mom was there for
a month.
You were there 5 weeks, I think.
Yeah, 5 weeks. It was the longest I've gotten to go, which was awesome.
So, but then I was just cutting that. So we're actually still cutting this season. It's been a monster to cut. This is a 10-part series, and they're each, I don't think there's one under 40 minutes. So it's like, in a way, it's like cutting a Netflix series or something of that scale. And it has kicked our butt getting that much content out. Plus we had other dramas in the background with servers and tech and all that, but we're getting it done. And I just was finishing episode 7 before I came down here, and each one of them is amazing. So congrats to the team that was there. So proud of everybody. And what we ended up accomplishing, even in our travels personally and cinematically and storytelling wise, is the best work we've put out so far. So very, very, very proud of it. And everybody else on the team that works their butts off getting it done. So yeah, I guess what else do we have? Questions and answers and all that. Have you seen any come in?
I'm seeing a lot of hellos. So appreciative. I saw one guy from India who's he's been waiting for it since yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much. And the last time we did a season like this was 2017, which was South America. So it's been a hot minute since we've rounded up the team, shipped trucks overseas, and it felt so good to be doing that again. There's just nothing like it.
Yep.
So
yeah, we're made for the big stuff. We're made for the big
Mhm.
trips. That's what we got into all this to do. We still like the smaller, shorter trips, but the big stuff is what gets me up in the morning and gets me really excited to go do. So I'm glad we were able to go do that. So
I want to know how, Cyrus, how is it for you? You missed a month of school. I told you I was going to ask you questions. You can't act surprised. You missed a month of school.
That I did.
What would you say to anybody, like maybe, I don't want to say kids, young adults your age? Was it worth missing what you missed back home for this trip?
100%, because that's like, you don't really just get that back in your life, and you'll be at school and get caught up with your work in like 2 weeks is all it took me. And I'd say it's definitely worth it just to go experience other countries, especially, and being able to travel and just meet new people and fans like you guys was really awesome, and it was a great time.
we did meet a lot of people over there.
Did, yeah.
I couldn't believe the presence of fans and people that had watched XO for years in Europe. It was incredible. They was all the time. It was a lot of fun.
It was awesome.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. And
So
I didn't yell at you too much for your driving. I've tried really hard not to.
I've been cutting all this footage, and I'm just watching like the mothering happen.
I can't help
It's so funny. So, if we're just ordinary people doing these things, and as you cut through the footage, you realize, yep, man, we're just a bunch of dorks running around
trying to make some movies.
movies.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, does anybody have any questions? We would love to hear from you. We're here to answer questions.
Alex Blanco says, just because it caught my eye here,
nice.
what was the hardest part of the trip as a whole?
Ooh.
To me, that is a simple answer, and that is the storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Putting together stories so that they're interesting and so they're fun to watch. Keeping the cameras and the equipment and the team running in as best condition as possible so that we can tell the best story possible. We get one shot at it while we're there, and we want to make it the very best we can. And so that pressure is a welcome pressure. It's definitely what we sign up for, but it takes a lot to do it. So that's the hardest part for me. If you're wondering like, oh, what's the hardest on the expedition side or the trip side?
Europe and Norway, everywhere over there is so easy to travel through that it really wasn't. The traveling itself, I didn't find hard because there's, especially in Norway, everything is set up so well for touring and camping. They have a lot of campgrounds, a lot of options. Everyone's so friendly. There's a lot of hiking, a lot of activities. So it was really easy to travel around and find really cool stuff.
Yep. Yeah. I would say so too. Yeah. Europe is built, Europeans in general are travelers. So the infrastructure for moving around and finding fuel and it's a total non-issue, which is kind of nice, getting our feet wet again on a big trip and allow us to focus on other things like history and etc. But places that we go in the future will be probably the opposite of that. So it's just, you take what you get when you travel the world and soak up the advantages of each place. And that is definitely the advantage of Europe. It's just nice. So nice to travel in.
So Epic Family Road Trip, will episodes be releasing every Thursday from here on out? And the answer is yes, on YouTube. They'll release every Thursday. After episode 5, we'll have a little bit of a break, and you'll see that when you get to the end of episode 5, why that is. But other than that, every Thursday here on YouTube, we'll be launching a new episode.
Yeah.
Okay.
I see. If you did it again with only one of your rigs, what would it be? To me, it'd be hands down the Tundra.
Yeah.
Tundra with the Audi Cabs system on. If it was just me, so it was like the 3 of us, that would be the rig.
For sure.
If it was the whole family, it'd be the Tundra towing a Patriot camper, the X3. And we could have done that as a family, no problem. That would have been great.
We love the Audi Cabs, and especially the interior live-in system was phenomenal. We take it a little bit a step further because we're basically a film production that moves on the road and lives on the road, and we have all those same needs that every overlander does and more. So it was really nice for Richard to be able to get into the Audi Cab every night, offload footage. Tanner was editing photos. It was a great system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've really gone to, okay, so long distance stuff. The more and more you do this, the more you find that you want to live inside of a vehicle best you can. Now, nothing wrong with rooftop tents, clamshells, or whatever they are. But after you've been doing it for 12 years, like we have, you kind of hit this point where you're like, I really just want to be able to work in and out of a vehicle, especially with a lot of inclement weather. So, yeah, we got some locals coming by.
Tequila. All right. Any problems with the Ukraine situation while we were over there? The answer is no. We were absolutely fine. We actually asked a lot of locals over there how they were feeling about the situation. We took it very seriously, and you'll see that even in episode 1 as we were planning out the trip.
Yeah.
But we had no issues.
At first, you will see. It was a very massive consideration. And that was probably the most, we didn't really touch on it deeply in this episode because we didn't know where it would go, obviously. But for like 2 months in there, we were like, oh man, did this thing that we just pitched to everybody and all of our sponsors, is this going to work? You know, because we didn't know how quickly the Ukrainian situation would escalate. So, but eventually, obviously, we did end up going, you know, and we all made it, by the way. Well, we all lived.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert. The 3 of us made it.
All right. Cyrus, what was your favorite part of the trip?
I really liked Norway, especially when we got up to Nordkap. That area was super cool. And I'd say Trondheim, was it?
Trondheim?
Trondheim.
We can't pronounce anything, by the way. Trondheim.
I apologize now, guys.
Yeah.
It was like, I think it was a village like right before we went into the Valley of the Gods, but it was really cool up there. And it was like all rainy and
Valley of the Gods is in Utah. Are you talking about Land of the Giants?
Land of the Giants.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I just got a text from Andy saying that we decided to kill that.
Oh, cool. So there's no break after
There's
episode
no break
5.
in YouTube.
Sweet.
Which is good.
Awesome. Cool.
Because we'll be caught up from there.
The editing.
There's a whole bunch of things in the background why that had to happen.
Yeah.
But that's good. That makes me happy. Evan, good decision. I like that.
Ooh, that's cool. How many hours of footage on average do you go through while editing a single episode? For a 45-minute episode, what would you say?
Let's see. We can actually roughly answer this because of how we ingested footage this year. Our initial timelines was around 7 to 9 hours of footage before we cut it down. A day.
So, and there's like 4 days.
But that had the breaks in it and stuff. So I would guess there's probably 30 to 45 hours of footage per a 45-minute episode. And a lot of people say, oh, there's so much left on the cutting room floor. Well, kind of, there is. You're just it's like making a diamond, right? You can start with a clump like this big, but then you got to whittle it down and take all the edges off and then eventually make a diamond. It takes a lot of material to get it there. But we really, in all reality, we shoot pretty stinking lean. What really gets the footage up is GoPros that run or long, extensive drone flights. You know, we're flying on average of 10 to 13 times a day. So that gathers a lot of footage that you only use snippets of, but you kind of have to run it that hard to get the footage. So, yeah. Tanner's saying 8 hours assembled. Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. 8 hours of the nuts and bolts of it.
Nice. All right, I'm skimming through questions.
Jeremiah has a question here. For the film nerds, what's the average film quality, 4K and frame rate you set cameras to? Oh, well, that is very film nerdy. We are shooting UHD, Ultra HD 4K. Frame rate is 24 frames per second, and everything is set to a very flat cine. Why can't I think of it right now? But ultra flat, as flat as you can get it, so that the color correction that we go through can be maximized. And Tanner has been our colorist this season. We even had a colorist come in, Scott Sterling here in Bozeman, who has colored, for 20 years, and he actually sat with us and taught us how to color footage in the most basic way. And I think we made good strides in even how our coloring process has gone this year. So look forward to that. I think it looks great.
Mm-hmm. We upped the ante on this one, so let us know. Hopefully you'll see a difference between this and Alaska. Hopefully a big difference from South America in a good way. We worked really hard on it.
Yeah. I see Andy here. What is one character trait that each of you has grown in as a result of your experiences of off-roading and overland? I like that.
Oh boy, just one.
Leadership for me. Once you think you got it figured out, you get smacked on the head with it, and so it's always coming up that you're never done learning how to be a leader, and I'm very thankful for that through the experiences of overlanding and running teams and making movies, etc. as the leadership traits of it all. I don't know. What about you? What did you learn?
What's your
I'd say
character
for
trait?
me,
What's your character trait?
I don't know. Throughout all the trips we've done, probably my work ethic has gotten up a lot.
That's
compared
a
to
good one.
When I was like a kid, you know.
What did he
Yeah,
say?
work ethic.
Oh,
His
good.
work ethic.
Oh, good.
is
It
good,
worked.
yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, good. Okay, the work ethic's working. It's true. These trips are hard, and it's not the camping and the living side of it that's really that hard, though there are times when it can be. It's the pace that we keep and the amount of just a level of details that we have to pay attention to make these films work, which then translates into your cooking, you're offloading, you're editing, you're keeping yourself straight, you're keeping the cameras ready, you're keeping the drones up and running, the batteries are good, the trucks are good, you're good, and then it's just all the time, constant for 60 days. So that's a good one.
That is a good one. Mine would be confidence and just overall mental toughness because of all the things you just mentioned, but definitely confidence in problem solving and having to figure things out and just pushing yourself farther than I thought I was capable of. And I saw someone else ask if that's helped me in the Rebel rallies or the Gazelle rallies, and how the Rebel rallies helped in general overlanding. Yes, for sure. Absolutely. You're using problem solving skills. You're on the road, sometimes long hours, and just having to have healthy communication with whoever you're with at the time and keep a positive attitude. All of those things help tremendously.
Yeah.
Okay,
there's a lot.
There's a good one.
You guys are asking some great questions.
Was there a piece of equipment you wish you had brought on the trip? Ooh, Cyrus.
Ooh, I don't know.
Did you bring your pillow?
Yeah.
You did.
I don't know.
He likes his sleep, so I tease him about that.
I felt pretty good with this. There's a bunch of equipment maybe that we would leave behind next time. I don't know. We're pretty lean and mean. We're pretty, because we carry almost 2 of everything in case something fails, which you'll see throughout the series. Some of this things that we do carry fail. So, yeah. All right. Midlife Adventure. What is the feeling you get as a father and husband to have a moment to look around and see your family there with you and seeing the next generation grow? That may be the most rewarding thing so far. We've been doing it. If you go all the way back into the Alaska Yukon series, there's a moment when Rachelle is cutting my hair and we're talking about someday we're going to bring our kids with us and do this together. And it's starting to happen right here. The other 2 are possibly going to be on the next trip with us. We're looking into that. There's a 3-year age gap between Cyrus and his brothers. So while Cyrus is kind of kicked in, the other three or the other two are just kind of coming in to their own pretty much this year. So that's why they've kind of been back. Because if you occupy a seat on one of our expeditions, you have to be a contributing member to the film production.
Mm-hmm.
So Carson Productions, your episodes are better than most Netflix series.
Wow.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, Carson.
Thanks, Carson. Thanks for the $1.99.
We're working
too.
hard to
Oh,
get
right
there.
on.
We're still working
Yeah.
on getting there. So if anybody knows anybody, let us know.
Yeah.
Thank you. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate your support.
Out of office camping action camera, GoPro or DJI. We've been running GoPros, but I don't know. The new DJI's ones are pretty cool. We'll have to look into that. We're constantly updating those, trying to get that to be better. It's probably the weakest link, but ultimately, I saw another question up here. What would you tell a young filmmaker for the first time about to go out? Bottom line, the best thing that you can do is tell a story. It's not about the film equipment. And this is the big thing behind our film festival, right? Best story wins. Because if you can tell fantastic stories that can make me laugh and cry from an iPhone, but if you have good tools, then it can add to the storytelling. But make sure you know how to tell a story first. Don't get caught up in all the gear. Get what you need, but then keep moving. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Carson.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
What's your go-to run and gun camera? That's a good question.
Right now we're running FX6. If you were to go SLR, the A7 system right now, the Sony A7s are amazing. Shot a whole bunch of stuff like the Greenland film on the A7 with a 24 to 105 lens. What else is there?
What are you reading nowadays? That's a good one.
It's like self-help books, how to lose weight,
Whatever.
like
we read Extreme Ownership last year.
what does it all mean?
That was a fantastic one by Jocko.
Yep.
That's a really good one.
Ooh, the FX3. That's a good one. That just came out. That's a really neat camera.
We just got one of those, right?
Yeah, I think we did. The Giordano's are carrying one right now for our new series on the Overlander Network. Who among the team is the all-rounder in all aspects, like mechanical, electrical, technology, video production, security, medical? Ooh, I don't know.
Ooh.
Richard Giordano is a pretty good Swiss Army knife.
He's pretty good. You can't have him either. He's ours.
Tanner's a Swiss Army knife.
Tanner's also a Swiss Army knife.
Kurt is a Swiss Army knife. You're a Swiss Army knife. You're becoming a Swiss Army knife. Right now, you're the Swiss Army knife. It's like a fork and a spoon.
I was gonna say he's got
and
like
a bottle opener and a knife. That's what you are. But like, if you look like Kurt, Kurt's Swiss Army knife is the one that's like this thick,
and it costs more money.
Everything. Oh yeah, he costs a lot more money, doesn't he?
A lot. That's a good thing to get into because a lot of every crew member on our trip has to complete probably 3 or 4 different roles, if not more. Like 3 or 4 is kind of the baseline, and then the more skills you have from there, the better. And ultimately, a very teachable and humble attitude, problem-solving skills, and just ready for the adventure and excited to be there. It's a lot. I love that question.
Dave says, during stressful situations with different personalities, has there been heated conflicts? Do you edit those out in your Overland series?
We honestly haven't really had
It's
any.
not heated conflicts.
Yeah.
Conflict, yes. We've had conflict for sure. But the thing is you need to expect conflict. Conflict in groups is normal. It means people have they have things to say. They believe in something, and working with. So the baseline needs to be that you need to have a very mature team, and then when you go into conflict, you're at least dealing with people that are mature about it. You don't have any wild cards that are, that can offset the balance. So we've been very fortunate in that. So yes, we do have conflicts sometimes. Most of the conflict, though, is usually not something that is like camera worthy. Is more or less like things that are going on behind the scenes, or just like, hey, I need you to do this, or I'm not doing this enough. Could you help me here? Those sorts of things. It's not really like fights or anything like that. It's just people working as a team to get things done.
Yeah, having expectations and lack of communication is usually the source of most of our conflict throughout the past, and we're always working to get better at that.
Yep.
And that's usually someone shows up and they're kind of sure what they're supposed to be doing, but not 100% positive on what role they're owning. And so we found that the more we can communicate and have us all each understand everybody's roles 100%, the easier that process is, and people will click a lot more because you know where you fit and you know
what's
expected of you.
And that comes back to that extreme ownership. Everyone needs to have extreme ownership of their role. And if you don't know what your role is, to go find it. But at the end of the day, the buck stops here. So if the team isn't running well or things are wrong, it ultimately comes down to the leadership. So that is something that, back to earlier in the video here, just leadership always just knocks me on the head and says, oh yeah, you think you got to figure it out? I'll try this one, or do this now. Like, let's throw this curveball, which is welcomed. That's the forging process. That's how you get better.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
What's that?
What Colorado hunting truck or daily driver do you recommend for a $60,000 budget? Just off the top of your head.
Ooh. I mean,
man. Hunting truck.
Probably, if you're a Toyota guy, Tundra. The new Tundras are great. If you're into towing a lot, like a diesel 2500, Ram 2500 or something. But
I'd say that's pretty heavy towing because the new Tundras do really well.
Yeah, I like those.
Okay, we got like a couple more minutes.
Ooh, pressure's on.
What do you all drive daily? I drive a 2013. Yeah, 2013 Toyota Land Cruiser, and I love it.
I drive a 2004 Tundra that we call the Turd. Because I originally bought it for him so that he would have his first car and blah, blah, blah. This is a good thing. And then he's like, Dad, I don't want that. I want this third gen 4Runner.
Right.
And then I was like, fine, I'll use this truck. And so that's what I drive now.
And
Cyrus
I
did
drive
buy it.
a third gen 4Runner.
A manual third gen 4Runner.
Yeah,
which
it's
is
cool.
It's
when he's
cool.
like, Dad, I want this, I was like, yeah, okay, I would.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll sell this one and you can have that one.
And then we never sold it.
Yeah, I just drive it now, the Turd. It's like a potato. It's just so boring. Yeah.
Second choice of brand away from Toyota. Ooh, depends on what car.
Whatever Toyota would make second.
Lexus.
There we go. Boom. There we go. Thank you. Good call.
Okay.
So many good questions. Tanner says the Turd is highly underrated. Indeed.
It's very useful.
It gets a lot done, doesn't it?
It does.
Just keeps ticking.
It's also
away.
our only full truck bed. So that helps a lot.
It was a good purchase.
Yeah.
For the deal we got.
Jeremiah asked, have you been able to use any skills you learned from Fieldcraft Survival so far? I haven't taken a whole lot of them. I've been instructing with them. But I just learned some stuff from Kurt the other day on winch recovery stuff that I was like, what? This is awesome. So that'll be used in the future. Hopefully never of the firearm. And you know what it is, though, working through firearm stuff and situational awareness. That's what it boils down to. It allows you to mindset. It makes you think different. And that we're using all the time. So
for sure. Which Toyota would you import?
Ooh, that one caught my eye too. Probably a 70 series Land Cruiser Troopy.
All right, we should probably wrap it up. So
we got 2 minutes.
Thank you again. Just a reminder, the Nordic Series will be dropping on YouTube every Thursday starting tonight, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, starting with episode 1. if you can't wait to watch the other episodes, you can go to overlandernetwork.com and watch episodes 1 through 5.
No ads.
No ads. You can download them. We have apps for Apple, Android, Fire TV, and Roku.
Yep. And you're truly supporting more content that's being come out. We're already shooting a show now because of the supporters over there. So thank you.
There'll be a lot more coming over there. So we really appreciate you guys' support. We appreciate you all on YouTube.
Yeah.
Thank you for encouraging us and helping us in every way and all that you do on our socials, whether you're writing or just sending us prayers and good vibes. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Your support does not only just support us, but there's a team of about 15 people back at home that are working daily with Expedition Overland and feeding their families and working to build their futures too. So
we're growing.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's amazing. And to the team back home,
thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thanks for letting us come to Mexico.
Yeah. So cool. Enjoy the show. Go grab some popcorn, sit down, watch it on the big screen with 5.1 surround
sound. Turn the sound up. Please turn the sound up.
Enjoy.
All right. See ya.
Signing off from Mexico. Ciao.
Bye.